I know you just put up to the bar, but we close.
Come on, man. You gotta be able to give me a shot, man. Come on.
You look like you need a drink, man, but I hate to tell you this, man. We about to close.
So you mean to tell me all these people out here, they got drinks and they got shots, but I can't get nothing. The bar closed that soon?
Okay, man. I don't know what else to say. I got this shorty half my age at the crib, and I'm trying to get to it. But last call was 10 minutes ago.
You know what? It's alright. Don't even worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All right. Tell you what. I'm gonna get you one drink. Does it look like you need
one drink? I can do one drink. I can do one drink. Cause I really, yeah.
Hey, man, anything, man. Look like you got a lot on your mind and you need a friend right now. Pour it on me. Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
One of the things I want to brought you by is HMS. Ask me what that is. Right?
What is that? What is HMS?
Yeah, HMS is going to be this another new consultant that I'm going to be doing. I've been bringing a lot of trash companies together, and one of the things I never thought about is being a consultant. Not only am I going to do that, I'm going to consult some other things as well. I'm coming out on my own website. Y'all going to be able to see a lot of things that I'm already doing. And the number one thing is I've been doing it, bro. I've been doing it with a lot of different companies. And now I'm trying to bring myself to make me realize I have value in me. How you going to see it is by what I do. So keep my faith, keep my courage, and keep my wisdom. Let's apply it, and I'll be the key to success in other people's business.
There you go, man.
That's what we're working with
Beautiful.
HMS, Harborbrick Management Services Consulting, coming soon to you.
Right.
Now, I got to get back to this man that's been rocking with me for going on 7 years. Come in this bad boy each and every time with a smile. Craftmatic, how you doing tonight, big baby?
I'm doing good, Smooth Jay.
I'm
doing good, man. You know,
tell us more about it.
Well, you know, life is always got its ups and downs. However, you got to stay filled with the spirit, man. You got to stay filled with the spirit of joy, and you got to stay focused,
right?
And you can't let nothing break you down, nothing stop your smile. So no matter what, man, I'm always gonna be doing all right.
You know, I like that.
You know, I was raised by a man who he just always had life in him. You know. And I know he went through ups and downs. You know, I'm talking about my dad, Mr. Richard Kraft. I know he had high tide and low tide, but you really couldn't tell by looking at his expression, by looking at his face. He just always stayed focused. And, you know, probably he spent a lot of time in music because, you know, when the times were down, that music lifted his spirits.
Right.
Doing good, man. Doing good. How are you tonight, Smooth Jay?
Man, let me tell you, ups and downs. But one of the things I got to admit, man, I've been trying to read more into the Bible because, again, you know, life has thrown me so many curves that I got to find out when I'm going through these curves and I'm navigating, I forget I got a partner. You know, I'm riding and I keep saying I'm by myself. I'm not.
Right.
So a lot of times the road get rocky, life gets shaky, and then I got to go back and realize I'm riding with him.
Yeah.
I always had him. He's always been with me, and I got to give praise to him.
There you go, man. And I think that's a great way to introduce our show.
Yes.
This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay.
Yes.
And we are here to liberate your minds and souls with a great dialogue. We just sit here and chop it up for about 35, 40 minutes on the subject, and on a particular subject. And ultimately what happens is some healing takes place. We get to a place in the conversation where we start to really understand not only the problem, but oftentimes we get to some real solutions, some below the surface type solutions. And so this has been, I don't know, one of my the best experiences I've had in my life doing Bar Talk with Jay.
Thank you.
Just sitting here chopping it up on subjects. We've been here for 7+ years, and I've just found that these conversations can be very therapeutic. They can be very helpful to your soul. They can give you some wisdom and inspiration, and that's what we are here to do, is really be leaders in our own community. And so we hope you sit back and enjoy the show. Tonight's topic is selfishness.
Ooh.
And so we're going to get down down into this subject a little bit and see if we can make sense of the subject. And so, again, we thank you for being here. And of course, we always start the show off with a prayer.
Definitely.
And tonight's prayer, we're going to pray over selfishness. So let's just take it to the Lord.
Yes.
Heavenly Father, we come into your presence once again, just thanking you for all that you are in our life. for your strength and your power and your love and your support and your wisdom. And we ask tonight, Father, that you would give us some understanding about the idea of selfishness. We seem to live in a world, Lord, where there is a lot of it going on, and we don't understand it. We don't know how to deal with it. And we just want some of your guidance tonight. Fill us with your wisdom and your intelligence. Show us the way. Allow us to be able to manage this idea of selfishness in our life so that we are still under your approval and under your wisdom. We ask that you would be here, speak your good and perfect word. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Oh, you did that one.
Amen. Yeah, man. We are in a world now where it seems to be full of takers.
Correct.
It seems to be full of people with their own agenda, and where there is less team play, where there is an environment of, I win, you lose, where the scales are unbalanced. And quite frankly, Jay, it can kind of piss you off. You know what I'm saying?
I knew when I picked this one wasn't gonna be a good one. I mean, we're gonna bring the most positive thing as possible, but
but here's what's positive about it, Jay.
Okay.
Everybody's dealing with it.
Oh, that's true.
Right? I mean, mothers and sons, right? Husband and wives, business partners. It's just happening all throughout our lives, and it's very rare that we have an opportunity to really just break it down, break into it, and really understand it. Correct. Understand it for what it is, because I do believe, even the good book says that a man who steals because he's hungry, you can forgive him for that. But if he steals just because he wants to just be unrighteous and take something, that's when you hold him accountable. So there may be some selfishness going on in the world that is kind of honorable. And I think if we are in the mindset that we should be our brother's keeper, the question has always been asked, are we our brother's keeper? Absolutely, we are our brother's keepers, because we are not an island unto ourselves. We do not live in this world alone. We need our brothers. And so we need our brothers and sisters. And so we have to find a way to bend and to be flexible, and, to work with other people. The question is, what is their motive?
Oh, no.
That's the question we really have to ask when we talk about selfishness, is what is the motive? The motive, as we normally think about selfishness, is that you're out to hurt me. Or whether you can see that you're hurting me or not, you're out for you only. Selfishness. And so I don't know where you'd like to start. I just wanted to open that up with a little dialogue, Jay.
I like the dialogue.
Yeah, we've all going through it, though.
One of the things that's going through it, and selfishness can be a help, is to understand self. Okay? Get righteous with self. Understand your beliefs and your boundaries. Because when you strengthen these things, then you're walking out, even though you're armed with a lot of self-armor, you're also willing to accept things. Because now I have a boundary that I set within myself. So I believe that's going to be the most encouraging way of looking at self, without making you look like selfishness and looking on evil where it's just about me. But it takes you to pour into self, because a lot of time you're going to pour into somebody else. But if you don't have nothing, how can you do anything? So you have to build yourself up. So you have to understand the word. You have to get right with what you're trying to do. And then when you go out here, it's not just being a selfish individual. You're just self-powering. So if I have to run upon somebody to be able to give the word, or to be able to reach out and give a hand, I know what I'm armed with, and I know what I can give. And that's more positive than negative. We've been fed a lot of stuff through social media that makes us arm ourselves in a negative way. So you see people in a negative. My whole thing is undebrief that and get back to what's right. Holiness and right is walking better. When you start that, now you're doing self-improvement. So self is all in this, but this is improving yourself, not to be that negative source. God has love for you. So if you're walking with him, then you looking at people in a godly sense. That's not a negative sense. That's not a hate. But a lot of times we build that up and it turns from what you know. I'm telling you to go back to the work, get back strong. And that is you building yourself up. That's starting with self. For you don't have to stay selfish. Because when you're in a relationship and you with anybody that you're in agreements with, a lot of time you have to give up the selfishness and understand companionship. Normally, if you're in a relationship, you give some things up. You tend not to be as selfish, not saying everybody's unselfish. I'm just saying a lot of times to make things work, you give some things up. And where all you're giving up is going to be dependent on our relationship. But I would always say never give up the Lord. Never keep yourself in a position where you give up everything that you have for someone else because it's going to get played back on you. Stay strong. And I always say all things ain't completely selfishness. Writing yourself, checking yourself, holding yourself accountable. These are all wise things. Now, saying that I'm better than everybody else and you ain't nothing. Now your selfishness is pushing down, nowhere near up. These are going to be key factors of how you're going to be judged. That's because that's how you speak. That's how you walk. I really want you to get your walk stronger in a positive than a negative. The world shows us so much negative that you feel like you can do it to another. Don't believe in what you hear, because again, everybody is not going to be calm. And I know a lot of people got E-rated hands. If y'all don't understand what them E-rated hands mean, for everybody. So if you fool around, you'll find out. That's all I can tell you. So before you get like that, just understand, don't be selfish and push nobody like that.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Jay.
Go for it.
We have a weekly gathering.
Yes, we do.
You bring something every week,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't bring anything any week.
Okay.
How long do you do that?
Well,
at what point do you say, okay, this person doesn't seem to want to be fair. This person doesn't seem to want to play the game equal. And so, and that's the first thing that comes to my mind. You know, I'm trying to make this conversation ABC, that when we are dealing with people who are selfish, that they don't want to bring anything to the table.
Now, to me, when they come like that, I got two different ways to approach. I'm gonna give you the straight up one. Is I'm normally gonna have a conversation with you because I want to know what's going on before I get to be judgmental. Because again, you might be going through hard times. I just don't have it. Okay. Now, at this point, I'm not gonna force somebody to do something they don't have. But if you're getting a lot of information out of our group and you're getting self-empowerment where you're starting to make better decisions, but right now you got to suffer through some things, then you don't have to. I will cover whatever that is. You know why? You still need the fellowship. Somebody need to show you that I can walk with you. For once you get past this, you will be a stronger person. Now we become stronger because now you see I believe in you instead of questioning you and putting you down at a point where you was already down. We don't look out for each other. We're more selfishly looking at it like he just don't care. Well, some people just don't have it. So long as I know you just don't, but I want to be here. I want to be fed by you guys. I need this because I'm at my lowest point. I'm going to unharden my heart and realize, who am I to judge? Now, I will tell you, if you come back with, why do I have to? You got it. You see what I'm saying? Now I'm going to have another approach.
See, here's the thing, Jay.
What's that, bro?
You're protecting the minority in that conversation because you know the world is full of takers, right? So let's talk about the takers. That's what we're talking about. We talking about okay. You want to go to the other one?
I told you, if you came and said, man, y'all got it, y'all good, why y'all need mine? Now at this point, you're selfishly letting me know you're not going to contribute, but you're willing to take. I have to disassociate myself with that.
There you
now,
go.
If the group feel like they want
to
to deal with you, I'm going to vote me out, even the group, because if the group going to put up with it, it's going to be chaos. I thought we was more unified, and that's what I thought we was doing when we all came together. But if I'm seeing somebody just taking out and nobody ever putting back in, I got a dysfunctional group. And sometimes I have to let some things go. Everything is not always going to be an easy choice.
Yeah. And listen, I have been on the side of the equation where I couldn't bring stuff, where I couldn't participate in the financial stuff. I couldn't participate in the buying of stuff. I've been there, right?
Right.
However, every single time I show grace and I show favor, I get there early to help set up.
Right.
I stay late to help clean up. I might make sure that you see I'm drinking water, even though you brought beer and beverage for us.
Right.
I'm not eager to take a to-go plate if I know I didn't bring anything.
Right.
You're going to be able to see. You don't have to know my problems to know where I stand.
Right.
But I'm going to say, man, listen, I know I ain't been able to participate in. I'm gonna tell you before you have an opportunity to tell me. I'm gonna come up and say, listen,
I got less reason to question.
I know I haven't been able to bring nothing to participate, man, but I just want to tell you I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? And if you give me, another month or so, I'm gonna make up the difference. I'm gonna, what can I do to help? What can I do to support? You know what I mean? What else can I do? I can't do what you want me to do, but you will have no doubt where my heart is on the subject.
Right.
You will automatically know that I'm not going to be a taker, because I'm going to make sure that I'm not a taker. I want you to always know that I'm a giver.
Right.
What happens is the takers sometimes find themselves trying to just blend in and not be noticed. The takers are the ones who, the first one to fix the to-go plates, right? The takers drink the most beverage, drink the most beer. You know what I mean? The takers might even ask you before they get there, y'all gonna have some beer tonight? Wait a minute. What you ain't bringing none? You ain't bringing nothing to contribute? Here's the point I want to make on the subject.
Go for it, my brother.
When we talk about selfishness, we have to realize that it's a sad reality, but we're in a troubled world.
It is.
We're in a world where there's way more takers than there are givers. So now what I have to do is protect myself.
That's correct.
And I have to protect those boundaries that you were just talking about. I got to make sure that if there's resource in the equation, I got to make sure that you're not overstepping the equation, because I love to give, but I hate to be taken advantage of. You know what I mean?
Agree.
And in fact, I despise being taken advantage of, because my heart is so pure. And I remember my father, who was most certainly a giver. He was so much of a giver, he would almost receive to take. You would have to fight him to pay the bill at the restaurant, literally. And he was the guy who always want to cut the extra area yard between the two houses. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to always show favor, and if he knew we had company coming and your yard might make the neighborhood look a little bad, then he gonna cut your yard too. Right. But the neighbor want to cut the fine line. They cut right down the line, and it don't matter if we look bad or not, wherever that flag is. So, my father began to realize that, hey, these are takers, those probably wouldn't be his words, but I saw him shift over time. Now, he still had grace in his heart. He didn't really have malice, but he said, hey, if that's how you operate, I got to treat you how you treat me.
That's right.
And I'm never going to be, bad, ugly, black, negative, whatever that side of the equation might be called. But I just refuse to be overtaken and be taken advantage of. And so self-protection is important. And it's not just in your personal relationships. Sometimes your employer treats you that way.
No, you didn't.
Sometimes your employer, they want you to work all this overtime, but when you need a special day off to do something for yourself or for your family, they act like they don't want to help you out.
Say it again.
Right? And so now they're being selfish. In other words, it's all about them. I mean, who wants to be in a relationship with somebody and their whole mentality is it's all about them? Right? Nobody, because what happens is, and think about it in terms of a relationship, that if the woman is the giver and the man is the taker, at a certain point, the woman's going to be like, I'm tired of giving. And what that really says is that she's empty. I give and I serve you and I help you and I support you. But when it comes to what I need, you ain't got no love for me. So now I got to stop giving.
Correct.
Right? Because I wind up being empty. I wind up being depleted. And that does not work. Right? You can't expect to lean on me when you need something, but I can't lean on you when I need something. That partnership has never worked and it never will work. And so, you know, we have to understand that, you know, for those who experience takers, you got to set those boundaries. You know, there are people who are centered in ego. And egotistical people typically don't think about anybody but themselves, right? You know, there again, you got to set boundaries.
Now they usually show themselves though.
Well, they always show themselves. They show themselves right out front, right?
Yep.
They absolutely show themselves right out front.
Them. They want everybody to address them. They're going to always be the one, the big head.
They got all the mouth, but they're not showing and proving nothing.
No.
Right.
You see no work behind half stuff they say.
Yeah. You know, it's again a sad reality, but this world, whether we see it, know it, understand it, believe it, this world is about unity. This world is about oneness. This world is about taking care of those who take care of you, supporting those who support you. And I'm not saying that you should, again, you know, I think you mentioned the word hate. You shouldn't hate on people because you really don't know what they're going through. But, you know, you can't allow yourself to be depleted and meet the guy who depleted you at the same finish line, right? The person who depleted you at the same finish line.
Not a good feeling.
Now, there is always this idea of empathetic grace, right? I know you ain't got it. I know you can't do what I do. So I'm just going to show love, right? Correct. I'm just going to show love. I had a girlfriend in college who came from a very prosperous family. And she drove a 740 BMW in college. Okay. Right. And her parents were driving Lex. They had a big house and they had, you know, farms, you know, away from their home and, you know, all kinds of stuff. We used to go to the farm and hang out for the weekend, me and her, and ride the horses, and she would let me drive her car.
Okay,
you know,
Pam Daddy.
I'm driving 740 in college, right? Everybody knew it wasn't mine. They knew it was my girlfriend's car, but I served her gladly. And I'm not talking about that, Jay.
What?
We're trying to have a righteous show.
It's righteous, but
I did serve her, but what I mean was like I would clean up her car. Okay. You know what I mean? Like I would do all these special things for her because she didn't want my money. You know, when we went out, she was like, don't be trying to spend money. But sometimes I would press my way in because I wanted her to know I cared. I wanted her to know that I wasn't the guy trying to take something from her, you know? And even in the end of our relationship, I got to know her parents and, you know, they fell in love with me. I fell in love with them. And, you know, they continued to see me as a potential son-in-law, but I couldn't live a life on their prosperity. Right. I told her, I said, listen, I got a great job. I'm in Fortune 500 now. And so why don't you come and be with me and you can spend your daddy's money up here. Right. But she was kind of, hooked on, you know, that world, that life. And in fact, her parents needed her to start running the business because they were growing old. And, but I didn't want to go down and live under their umbrella. Right. And, you know, years later, she said, you know, there's a lot of guys who probably would have just came to Miami, started living off my parents, and you know how they go. I wasn't willing and interested to do that. My father didn't raise me that way, you know. I just always thought that if somebody's helping you and giving you and serving you, she took me on trips, all kinds of stuff, you know. But man, I show her so much love, and I was so grateful. I always thanked her so much. But you could see my heart, right, in the midst of all that. I was never egotistical or boastful or any of that stuff. I received well, you know, and it caused me to want to give and help and support other people in the same way. I know that, you know, I had a buddy of mine, he couldn't afford to go play golf. I like to play golf. He liked to play golf. Come on, partner, let's play golf. But he always showed favor. You know, he used to bring me, you know, dinners from his mama's house on Sundays. You know, when I was cutting the yard, he'd come over and help me with the yards. You know what I mean? Like
brother.
He was always showing favor. And so, you know, and that's the key. The balance, right? The unity, the oneness in things. Selfishness does not work in this world. And if you have the selfish behavior, you will find that the person who you are getting over on will soon find a way to get away from you.
Well, I would tell you how you were definitely not selfish for cleaning up her car and showing that I will pay and I will do some things. And now that I'm out here working, I'm willing to have you come up here and be with me. I mean, all these things are not egotistical. None of these things is selfishness. These are good vibes. I like these vibes. So whatever happened with that relationship?
Well, she went back to Miami, took care of her parents' business, and I kept focused on corporate America. We, you know, distance relationship wasn't working for us.
I just moved on.
I was balling out of control on my own, right? And you know, I still finding my way as a young man out of college, you know, in the new professional world. You know, I was doing a lot of traveling, and I think she had taught me a lot about the world, you know, just through my experience with her. So it wasn't that I didn't love her. I loved her a lot, but she just couldn't go far from the nest because of her responsibilities. Her father had basically, when he was young, in his late 20s, owned a McDonald's franchise, end up with 4 McDonald's franchises in Miami, Florida. You can imagine how much prosperity that would lend the family, right? Yeah. So they were multi-million-dollar, you know, family, and still doing well. And she went on and married a good guy and had kids and all the above. But the point of the matter is that take care of those who take care of you. You can't say it any more simple than that. That if somebody's willing to invest in you, or if somebody's willing to let you come into their home and use their valuable resources and stuff, if somebody's willing to do extra for you because you can't do for yourself, nurture that. You know, show your gratitude, show your love. You know, have an understanding that none of it is yours, and you may not even deserve it, but you're getting it because of favor.
Right.
It really don't belong to them. It really belongs to the Lord, right? And so if you don't use the things that the Lord give you in proper measure, he'll take it away from you. And he might even hold you accountable to repay it, if you know what I mean. You might not have to pay back the person, but you have had so much favor that he's now expecting you to show some favor. And if you don't show that favor to the next person in your life, that he might take your gifts and he might take your blessings away from you. That's the way the world works. It's always going to balance itself out. And I think we have to live on this balanced equation of life, you know? So,
but I like that, Kraft. I like that for people to hear, because everybody's want to know who comes to the table with what. You know, what about the fact that I'm not trying to take nothing from no one?
Right.
The fact that I'm caring and I'm showing you my compassion without you judging me about all what I have.
Jay,
and that's what you showed. And that's key.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. We have had dozens upon dozens of conversation about dating and about oftentimes how we feel that women are kind of looking for the bag.
Correct.
That's a selfish attitude.
It is.
And we have learned to see it early in the game. It doesn't take us long to figure out that you're not interested in helping on the bill. it doesn't take us long to figure out that you're not interested in giving like we're interested in giving. That you may not even be counting the money that we spend. We go out and spend $400, $500, $600 on a weekend or sometimes on a night, and then you want to do it every weekend. We realize that you're not even counting the dough, right? Even if you were to look at the situation and say, well, let's just say he got a good job making $20 an hour, and he done spent half of his check for the week on me. At that point, that should cause you to want to dig in your pocket. If not dig in your pocket, go in your freezer, go in your mama's freezer and bring some turkey legs home and put some gravy on them, right? But it's about, hey, I see, and I have had women in my life who said, listen, you've been spending money all week. You know what I'm saying? Just chill. Let me cook nice meal, a big Sunday dinner, fix you a couple of to-go plates. You can eat today, you can eat tomorrow, you can have leftovers for the week, maybe put some in your freezer. Those things are meaningful. And my ex-girlfriend, man, she was fabulous at that, right? She would be like, look, we just went out to dinner last night. It don't take nothing but about 30 minutes for me to go in there, whip up something and get us fed for the night. You know what I'm saying? And maybe we'll do something next week. Right. She always showed favor. She always showed gratitude. She always told her friends and family what I was doing for her, And so she wasn't trying to hide it like she was balling. She was like, yeah, I'm getting lots of help and support. And I'm grateful for that. So just show love where you're shown love. Right. And, that dating situation, oftentimes it's ladies, but sometimes it could be the men. We see right out front whether you're a team player. And I think we're all looking for team players. Yes. We're all looking for somebody to be on our team who, it's okay when things are good, but when things aren't good, am I a bad person because I can't provide for you in the same way? Right? And there are a lot of husbands a lot of breadwinners in the house. Women, there's a lot of head of household women nowadays. And there's a lot of head of household women who are now starting to experience, well, hey, he don't ever really want to kick in. Hey, when I was going through a tough time and I lost my job, or I was going through a transition, he didn't seem to want to help. Again, that one-sidedness only works for a little while. Now, you said something a little while ago, Jay, that I just want to also address. You said that if somebody is not kicking in, they're not supporting, they're not doing something, that you'd want to have a conversation with them.
Correct.
And see, I'm not that guy, right? I'm not the guy who's going to come, and that conversation really is, whether you do it nicely or you do it kind of challengingly, that conversation is really checking somebody. It's really checking them like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Where you at? You got to come, you got to participate. I can't be the only one doing this or only one doing that. And I just don't believe in checking people on anything. Right. Well, what I like to do is I like to see how you naturally behave, because I want a natural friend, right? I don't want to have to shift your behavior because I checked you. No. I want to see that you would do the right thing without me having to say anything.
That's what I said. I give it a little time and I try to see that. But a lot of times if somebody just come for a short meeting, I don't get a chance to see all that. Okay. So I'm not going to keep it going, especially if it's something that's very valuable to me and it's really close to me, because I don't have a huge group. I'm gonna get me wrong. The show, I got fans and I got some different people that know me, and that's all good. But when you're in my close surroundings, I have to guard anybody I'm with. So if I'm bringing somebody in and I'm noticing this, and you are correct, I'm gonna check it quick. You know why? Because I brung this to my doorstep. I brung this to people. And if I don't, then somebody's gonna check me, because anybody close to me can talk to me. And it's never a check. If you got a question, you can come ask me. I don't really look at it as a check, because I feel like it's a check and balance. I feel it's a balance because we care for one another. But if I brung somebody in and you're noticing this, you might not go to them, but you might be talking to me, because I'm not going to be one to check you. We're going to have us a conversation, but I'm not going to lie to you. If I start feeling that way, I will check them. You know why? Because I brung them in. And my whole thing is it's accountability.
That's right.
And that's where I'm going. If I didn't bring them in, I'm going to go to the person that did, because I'm closer to them.
Yeah.
I don't need them to feel like it's a fight.
Yeah.
I'm not out
Yeah.
to fight,
If
we are holding each other
if I
accountable.
brought somebody to the table, you know, a friend of mine, and he, you know, as my boy on Friday say, eating up all the food, right?
Man,
Drinking up all the drink, right?
Man.
I'm gonna go to my boy, and actually I might not go to my boy because I don't believe in checking again. Like, I want to see if he like, hey man, you know, hey, why don't you give me, you shoot me 20, I take 20, and why don't we give it to the host of the party and make sure they know we care. You know, we're not just here to take, right? But if he got an issue with the 20, I might just pull the whole 40 out of my pocket, but he won't ever be coming back to another event with me, right? So yeah, I will, you know, address. Quote unquote, you know,
that's not check. That's address.
Maybe address in what, but I'm addressing it in a way that's positive, that's edifying. You know, I'm not gonna
embarrass him. You didn't make him feel
right,
but you let the group know he just won't be back, and if I gotta cover it, I'm good. So that's address. That's not check, and that's it's a very calm, good way to handle a lot of things. But again, this show is not to tell us what, it's just different approaches. Yeah, and you gotta what's comfortable.
Yeah. Here's the interesting thing about selfishness. If you find yourself in a partnership, a relationship, you know, a situation where you're dealing with a selfish person, it's unfortunate, but that is the time to become selfish. Right? That's that protect yourself. Okay. Right? That's that protect yourself. I remember my grandmother's porch was kind of a neighborhood central space, right? That, you know, the old bum down the street, you know, he knew my grandparents and he knew my uncle or whatever, and you know, the lady from next door and the people from across the hall and all this stuff. And so we'd have, you know, 10, 12 chairs out in front of my grandmother's porch, and we'd all be sitting out there on a Saturday or Sunday, just hop. The kids would be playing on the playground, and the grown folks would be having a little taste of wine, and grandma might fry a batch of chicken for the everybody. But there was a common knowledge that there was some takers. And so if the takers were coming, they would hide the bottle, right? And so everybody who was in the clique knew where to go and get them a fresh drink, knew where to go and get the bottle and pour them a drink. But you pour them a drink, but you keep the bottle. You keep the bottle down there, right? Now, even as a kid, I'm noticing this. Okay. You know, even as a child, I'm saying, oh, okay, they ain't trying to let him drink up, because he'll drink up the drunk, you know, in the neighborhood. He'll drink up all the liquor if you let him. And not only that, he'll believe it's a watering hole and he can come back anytime he wants. Every time he see you sitting on the porch, he want to come and get a drink, right? And so, you know, I would also see things like my grandfather would clear the area when it was time to go, right? This ain't a place you just hang out and, you know, because we done fed you a little food and fed you a little libation. This ain't the place to be, right? Hey, you know, hey, we ain't got nothing going on today. We might have something going on this weekend. I'll let you know. Right, I love that libation. Now, my grandfather was being selfish to protect the front porch, and there's hundreds of different examples where you have to do that. One. What's that?
Friday after next, Debo.
Yeah,
you gotta hide that chain.
You gotta hide the chain.
Hide that watch. Yeah, hide that chain.
Yeah.
You know that thief. Yeah, everybody know him.
Yeah,
there go Debo.
Hey, Cube looked at old boy. He said, "What's up?" He said, "Debo."
You know what it is.
Hide the chain. That's it. That's exactly right.
I gotta have some fun with this one also. I dated somebody a long time ago, right? And they like my chain. Can I get that chain? Be like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, I like your watch. Oh, can I get your watch? No, of course, no. I mean, I ain't even know you like that.
Right.
Ain't no way.
Right.
And I'm gonna take it like it was a joke anyway. And hopefully it was joking. Who really cares? Anyway, later on, I dated somebody and they noticed the stuff I was wearing and things I did, and they bought it for me as a gift. I never lost one.
Yeah.
They bought it because they see that's what I wear.
Yeah.
Now,
that's
the
nice.
difference is givers and takers is understanding what people do and how you can compliment. You might not know what to give me. A lot of people would. I usually have a lot So I'm not looking for somebody to give me anything.
Right.
But what I cannot tell you is I love it when a person still tries. But they try off of what they see and what I like, not what they like. Because I'm gonna tell you now, there's some people that bought me Axe cologne. I've been giving it away ever since. The socks, pro socks, like I don't even wear them.
Mhm.
You know, they're buying stuff that fits them. It was never about me. What I learned is when somebody get into you, they'll see you and they'll buy for you. And it's the same for me. I don't buy just because people say that's what a person like. I look at a person and I like to see what I like to see them in.
Mhm.
Then I look at what they have and I try to find that. And then we fit and we do that. I'm not going to do it just on Valentine's Day. I'm going to do it randomly when I'm thinking about that person. I really do not like people that just celebrate a holiday. If I care for you, I care for you all the time. I probably should say it all the time. And if I don't, I probably mean I don't really care as much. But what I can tell you is when I feel for you, you should know it. And you should see me doing things in a consistent manner where, you know something, he appreciates me and he got this because he appreciates, not because of a day.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to wrap up our show. Show appreciation, show love to those who love you.
Ooh.
What else can you say, right?
Hey, I like it.
This has been Bar Talk with Jay.
Yes,
my name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay.
Oh,
And we want to thank you folks for being here with us tonight. We're here every Thursday from 7 to 8 Facebook Live. We're on every major other platform. Please like, share, subscribe, show your love, and come back and bring your friends and family with you. Never forget, folks, that we do this because we love you.
Yep.
We appreciate you.
You know it.
And with that, we are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk